Hey, welcome back to my Lapbook Folio album tutorial where I'm teaching you from start to finish how to make this cute folio album. Actually, it could be a mini album, folios, Lapbook. It could be anything that you want it to be because these are attached to the spine of the album, so that makes it a mini album while we still have the folio aspect on the front and inside back covers. Plus, it's full. Yeah, it's a lap book. If you haven't caught the final or the walkthrough of this, I will put that down in the description box down below. And if you want to purchase the tutorial, so it's yours forever to keep, and you get the cutting guide, and you can have the cutting guide right beside you. Otherwise, you can just write down the measurements as we go. All right. So in the last class, part 1, we got our covers made. And how beautiful. Yeah, I showed you how to color your fabric. And then we colored our gift wrapping paper. Okay. All right. Let's get to work. We're at the fun part now. All right. So in this one, you're going to need a middle file folder and a either top or bottom. It doesn't matter. Okay. I am using the Smeed file folders, and they are 9 1/4 by 11 5/8. Now I will tell you, if you're using the Manila ones are just a little bit bigger. They are 9 1/2. Okay. So my original one was made from these, so I may have to finagle these just a little bit to get, what we had here, because we're losing 1/2 inch, but we'll figure it out as we go. So just a little FYI. The tutorial is for the Manila ones. Unless I see something really different, then I'll add a, notation to it. Okay, so top or bottom one. And it's going to be a good idea if you will mark pages A, B, C, D, and that way when we go to put it together, it will be easier to put together, okay? So here we go. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm doing this to most of the file folders, okay? I want a straight edge to cut from because we all know file folders are not straight. Now the Smeed ones are usually pretty good. So where this starts to round, I'm just going to slice this off. Okay. Now, since we got our straight edge, we're going to cut 5 inches from the long tab side. Okay, long tab side, tab side. That's how I refer to my folders. A middle file folder, this is tab side. This is the inset side. Okay, so that's how I refer to my file folders. All right, long tab side at 5 inches. Okay, so you're going to put this on your 5-inch line and cut. Now we're going to cut this down to 10 1/2 inches, and I'm going to cut it off the long tab side. So 10 1/2 inches. Okay, throw away. This is piece C. Okay, piece C. Okay. Piece D, we're going to cut it 6 inches from tab side. Okay. So 6 inches. Put this on your 6-inch mark and cut it off. Okay. Now we're going to cut this down to 9 1/2. And here's my tab. So I'm cutting it off this part over here. So 9 1/2 inches. Okay. This is piece D. All right. So the piece that is left is piece F. Now remember, we lost ½ inch here, so measurements may be just a little bit different, okay? Now we're going to cut this down to 10 3/8. Okay, 10 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because 9 1/2, 10 1/2, it needs to be just a little bit shorter. Okay. Okay, you're cutting it at 10 3/8. This is piece F. Okay, piece F. Throw away. All right. So we're going to set that aside. Now, your middle file folder. We're going to cut. I think I'm going to get a straight edge first. Yeah. I'm going to get a straight edge first. Okay. Now I'm going to cut right down the middle. Okay. I'm cutting on the natural fold line. Okay. So now our folder is 11 1/2. Okay. So the inset tab, okay, inset tab 1, we're going to find our middle. Okay, we're going to find our middle. Okay, so I'm just going to, and the middle is 5 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little tick mark where 5 3/4 is. Okay. So now I'm going to cut this right in half. Okay, right in half. These are piece E. Okay, piece E. And I think we have to cut these down just a little bit, if I remember right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to cut those down. Okay, so this piece that is left over, we're going to cut it 5 inches from the tab side. Okay, so 5 inches from the tab side. So I'm going to put my tab at 5 inches and cut. Okay, so now we need to find the middle again, because we need to cut this down to 10 3/8. So my middle, I'm going to find my middle again. 5 3/4. Okay, so now I want to go, let's see, 10 3/8 would be 5 1/8, 1/8, and just a hair over that. So 5 1/8 and just a hair. Okay, so again, I'm going to go the 5 1/8. So 1 2 3 4 5 1/8 and just a hair over. That should be 1 2 3. I'm just a hair off. Okay. So I'm going to cut on my mark right here. And then I'm going to flip it over and take it down to 10 3/8. 1, 2, 3. So mine won't be quite in the middle, but it's pretty darn close. That is piece G. All right. Piece H that is left over is going to be, this piece here left over is piece H. But we'll do it when we get to it, because I think we're going to have to adjust because we lost 1/2 inch. So I think we're going to have to adjust. Okay, let's get our scoreboard out. Piece G, you're going to score on the straight side at 1/2 inch. And I think that's got to be cut down, because piece G should be 9.5, I think. Okay, piece E. We are going to score these on the long side at 3/4, 7/8, 1, 1 1/8. Shoot. Okay. So 3/4, 1 1/8. I'm sorry. 3/4, 7/8, and 1, and then 1 1/8. Okay, that's piece E. And you should have 2 of them. Piece F. Okay, piece F. You're going to put in your trimmer, and you're going to score 1/2 inch on each end. 1/2 inch on each end. Okay. Piece D, we do nothing to it. Okay. So we're going to score 1/2 inch on piece C, and I want my long tab at top. Okay, long tab at top, and then tab side at bottom. Okay, tab side at bottom, long tab at top. Okay, so we're going to score 1/2 inch on each end on piece C. We got to form a pocket. Okay. All right. So now you're going to score. Fold towards the bumpy side. Fold it to where you have long tab at top, short tab at the bottom over here. This piece is going to attach right here. Okay. Second, I'm going to check that. Okay, so tab at bottom. All right. So let's glue her. Yeah, you have to let me know if you're going to tackle this folio album. It is a pretty big project. tab at top, tab at bottom. Okay. But it's so much fun to decorate and put together. Make sure she's all lined up. Okay. Now I'm going to round this corner. I should have done it before I attached it. Alright. I have to watch that. Okay. That forms a pocket. That's going to attach right here. So let's check and make sure she fits. How do I want to do this? Let's move our pieces out of the way. Now I did fold on all of my score lines. Again, I refolded on all of them. I didn't burnish, I just refolded on them. Alright, I'm going to cut this little extra fabric here. Alright, there we go. So now I need to make sure my album is right side. Okay. Now, when you're applying this piece, only glue the bottom side because the other element is going to squeeze in. So you're only going to glue the bottom of this. Do not glue the top because there's another element we're going to slide in to this pocket. And I hope this doesn't screw me up. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to, okay. So see, I'm going to put this the way it's supposed to be. So do not get it messed up. Okay. There we go. Okay, you're only gluing this back side. Do not glue the front side. Okay. I'm going to apply my glue. Okay. Now I'm going to attach it. Just up to that very first score line. Do not go past. Just up to it. Okay. I'm going to double check. Make sure that I'm not. Yeah, I kind of got past it. Okay. Give her a good burnish. All right. Phew. Okay. So now you're going to open this up and leave these on because there's elements that we will do on the pages that will go here. Okay. That we cut off and I add them. And it's just so much easier if I, attach it on the back side of D. Okay. Because there is lots of elements. All right, piece E. You're going to fold on your score lines, and one needs to be one way, one needs the tabs. Okay, so one is one way, the other tab is the other way. Now, I'm pretty sure we got to cut these down. I thought we did. I think we cut them down to 5. Yes, we cut them down to 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut the tab side off. So I'm cutting these down to 5 inches. And I'm cutting the tab part off. Okay, 5 inches. I thought we did. Okay, throw those away. Now piece G, and I was right, should be 9. It should be 9 3/8 for piece G. Okay, so we need to cut off 1 inch. So I'm just going to cut off 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, and that should take me down to my 9 3/8. Yes. Okay. All right. So now you're going to fold on your score lines. Okay. And those 1/8 of the ones, they should just pop up. Okay. All right, there's that one. Okay, I need to make sure that they're opposite, and they're not. Okay, so let's make sure they're opposite. Oops, and that didn't fold very straight. And I'm going to trim, that one's, well, I'm going to trim these down to 1/2 inch because I don't like that where we done cut there at the middle. It's a little bulky and I don't like that. So I'm just going to trim these down to trim a little bit off anyway. Okay, and then pop your 1/8 of an inch gusset. And then pop your other one. Alright. So I'm just trimming just a little bit off. I don't want that extra bulk. Alright. So now I'm going to round my corners. And if you have questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. Okay? Because I know. And don't be afraid. You know, there is no dumb question, because if you're thinking it, I can guarantee you somebody else is thinking it. Okay? So there is no dumb question by no means. Okay? Okay, you want your gussets all up. Okay? We're only attaching that 3/4 of an inch. Okay? Make sure our tabs are opposite. Okay? And you're going to center this in this area. Okay? So I'm just going to put it there. I'm just going to make a little tick mark where I want it to be. Just so it makes it easier when I go to glue it down. Attach it right along the bottom. Do not go over. Okay. Doing the same thing with the top one. And you're going to line it up with this other one. Okay. So I'm going to make sure she's lined up with your other one. Okay. All right. There's piece E. Yay. Okay. Now, piece G, fold on your score line, fold towards the bumpy side, and burnish. Okay. I'm going to round my corners. Okay, piece F. You have one side that is longer than the other side. We are going to attach the longer side. Okay, open up piece E. Okay. We're going to attach the longer side to piece D here. Okay. So how we're going to do this, on that fold line, we're going to just do a little triangle just to reduce bulk. Okay. Do not go into that 1/2 inch here. Okay. Just up to it. Okay, we're just reducing the bulk, and this is all we're doing. Okay, now what you're going to do, we're going to cut, okay, the bigger side is attaching. The top is going to be a flippy flappy. Okay, so we could either, now let's cut these off. So I think I'm going to try and use my trimmer because I'm not very good at cutting lines. Okay, remember the bottom one is what we are attaching. The shorter one is going to be our flap. That's what we're cutting off. Okay, so I'm going to line my score line up. Okay, cut that off. All right. So now we have this. These two pieces here are going to fold back. Okay, they're folding back. Give them a burnish. Okay, they're folding back. That's what's going to form our pocket. Okay. Now, I see that that sticks over just a hair. So I'm going to straighten this up. Or try to. It should be the same as your pocket. Okay. So how we're going to do this, we're going to add glue here, here, and here. And we're going to attach this right here. And I'm just double checking that I am all good to go. And I'm good to go. Okay, we are going to attach this right up. I'm going to go just a hair shorter where we attached, where the end of our file folder is here, I'm just going to go a hair that way of it. Just a hair. I don't want to attach it right on there. So I'm going to apply glue to here. I'm applying glue to here. Now I'm going to apply a bead of glue right here. I want to close up this pocket. Okay. Let me go up just a hair if I can. Alright, so I'm going to open this up, give her a good burnish. Okay. Piece G is going to attach 1/4 of an inch from what our piece F. I'm just going to put that on inside. A quarter of an inch away from where we just attached piece F. Okay. Do we want to tape? No tapering, because that's right, no tapering on this. No tapering. Good thing I looked. Okay, 1/4 of an inch away. And I should have checked to make sure piece G was the same size as F. Mine is just a little bit longer. But that's okay, because we got gussets, so we're good. Alright, so there's piece G. Now, piece H. Alright, piece H. I know ours is going to be a little short. It's supposed to be 4 1/4 or 4 1/2 by 4 3/4, and see we're short. So if we go our 4 3/4 this way, yeah, that sucks, being a 1/2 inch shorter than normal, than our manila ones. Okay, let me check something here. Oh, that might be okay. Okay, so cut it at, let's go 4 3/4. If not, we've got a scrap piece of all right, so 4 3/4. Okay, let's cut these down to 4.5. Instead of that 4 3/4, cut them down to 4.5. Yeah. See what I mean when you cut that along? You see how much? But I think that'll be fine because we're gluing these down. So okay, so I'm gonna round. I'm rounding the edge that doesn't have that extra from that cutting it at the natural fold line. Okay, so just like that, we're going to attach them, but we need to decorate first. We need these pieces decorated on the back side. So I'm going to use this paper. And these are 4, so we'll go 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so 3 3/4. Yeah, 3 3/4. Yep. Double check, Vanessa. Double check. So 3 3/4. Okay. By 4 1/4. Okay. It's always better to double check. Okay, so now I need to round. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's attach them. Okay. Ah, shoot. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to center them. Okay, you see this 1/2 inch that piece G was attached to here? We're just butting it up against that 1/2 inch. Okay, and we're not attaching it on top. Now I still have my little mark here for halfway point. So you want them centered with just a little gap, like 1/8 of an inch in between the two. So I'm just going to make me a little tick mark down here. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to find my edge here. And I'm not gluing past this point. Okay, so you're going to glue 3 sides. Okay. And you're just butting it up against that 1/2 inch. Okay. You're just going to butt it up. Don't go over it. Okay. Do the same thing to this one. I'm just trying to get my edge here. Okay, do not go past there. Leave a little bit of space in between the two. Okay. Why didn't that stick? Huh. That's kind of weird. Why aren't those sticking? Just needed time to dry. Of course, my craft room is pretty chilly. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Never noticed it doing that. Usually, they stick immediately. See? Look at that. What's going on? That's kind of weird. All right. So, piece F here. I think I'm going to put these trees in here. Yep, I am. So, these are piece H. So I need to get a... Okay. Huh, that is weird. All right, so I'm going to go 2 7/8. 2 7/8. So I'm going to cut it off one side here so I can have a continuance of this. Okay, I'm going to cut my border strip off. So what did I say, 2 7/8? I think I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'll cut my 2 7/8 first. Then I'm going to go 9 1/8. So 9 1/8. So there's that piece. Now this piece is 3 1/4. So I'm cutting here's my piece that I cut off. Okay, so I'm going right beside it. So 3 1/4 by 9 1/8. Okay, there's that piece. So now I have my trees. Do I want to go here too? I don't think so. Ooh. Kind of like that. Because remember, I can glue these down later on, but this will be here. Whatever folds here is going to be seen here and here. All right, so you got to kind of remember that. So if we stick this here, okay, we'll just pretend. Ooh, I do like that. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this piece because I'm pretty sure I want this here. So it is 9 1/2. So if we go 9 1/4, we'll grab it. So 9 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so 2 3/4. Actually, 2 1/2 will do it. By 9, I believe it was 9 1/4. Yep, 9 1/4. Now, I'm not doing my tabs, so, oh, my pocket's only 9 3/8, that's right. So I need to cut just a smidgen off. So that piece is going to go here. Now these E pieces, we'll be putting attachment on those. But we got to do the pieces first before we can do it. It's pieces that are left over that I use. I like that. Okay, and I said this right here. Okay, so these are 4, so I'm 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Now here, I'm just probably going to add a strip. I'm not going to, well, we could decorate, but it just looks neater if, you know, this is something and then we can have a strip of something here. Okay. Sometimes it's, you know, the little decorating elements that can make a difference. I'm going to go 3 7/8. 3 7/8. Okay. By 4 1/4. So there's that one. And that one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. So that's going to go there. That will go there. Okay. I was thinking this right here. Yep, I'm doing it. So 3 3/4. Well, I'm going to go 3 7/8. 3 7/8. Okay. And I think I want kind of more of this on it. to go 9 1/4 is almost just a hair under 9 1/4. 9 1/4. Okay. Around my corners here. So that will go there. Now, for the strip that's here, I think I'm going to use this. So let's get, we know that's 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go 3/8 of an inch. Maybe just a hair more. And then I'm going to cut it, I'm going to go the full length of it. So it is 9 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. That should have been just a little bit. I like that. It's on the back side. We could try the back side. Now, I like that. All right. So let's close this and see how that peeks through. Very cute. I don't think we want another gingham. Nah. Nope, not that side. Definitely not that side. Oh no. Oh, it's upside down now. I'm gonna say that side would be pretty cool too. All right, so that shuts. And then these will go here and here. So you just got to pay attention how you're decorating, you know, when it's closed, what you'll be seeing when stuff is, you know, closed. That's not bad. All right, it's getting to be almost an hour. So I will probably go ahead. I'll go ahead and get these, get this all glued down. And I'll go ahead, get my paper here. Okay, here and here. And then I'll get my paper here. Okay. And I'm not going to decorate this here, not until I get this part all done, so I can kind of coordinate what's here and here. Okay. But I will get everything else, these two and these two. So in the next class, we will get, let's see, I think, should we get this done here, or we have another aspect on here? So either or. Okay. So that is our next class. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you will make this. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So talk to you guys later. As always, keep scrapping. Bye-bye.